As an event for young designers to network and show their work in public, it has become a global celebration, featuring a special presentation format, 20 images each for 20 seconds, moving on while you speak along. The nights are informal and fun gatherings, rendezvous for creatives or the city. Everyone can present whatever the age, no matter children, teenager or adult, presenting something that you like. Ideas what talks about anything. 1,000+ cities around the world. Together let's say 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha,
PechaKucha, événement mais surtout format de présentation orale en 20 images qui se succèdent automatiquement chaque 20 secondes.
PechaKucha is een avond vol verrassingen, waar mensen de tijd nemen om weer eens echt naar elkaar te luisteren.
Hey, PechaKucha is PechaKucha Night in Tokyo.
Named after the onomatopoeic Japanese phrase for the sound of talking, this is PechaKucha. Thank you Art Dema for this concept for short and concert presentations lively like cha-cha-cha. Always sung in a place, eating and drinking space. Bars to gallery, home beach or swimming pool. Sharing a relaxed way, put your hands in the air. You feel the spirit. 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha,
PechaKucha es un evento y formato de presentación oral con 20 imágenes que pasan una a una a cada 20 segundos.
We are PechaKucha, all over the world, a real network. We are PechaKucha, with wonderful stories at the PKN nights.
PechaKuchaストーリーテリングのフォーマット。20秒のスライドを1枚あたり20秒使ってプレゼンテーションを行います。
PechaKucha ist für uns allen eine fantastische, eine großartige Bereicherung unseres ganzen kulturellen Lebens.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to PechaKucha Night from Tokyo. It's our 177th volume, so yokozo.
はい、みんなこんばんは。日本人もいらっしゃるだと思うんですが、PechaKuchaの177回目、77ラッキーかな。また今日は、残念ですけどオンラインなんですが、でもそれでも楽しくやりましょう。
So, well, who are we? What are we doing here?
マーク大さんです。
Astrid Klein.
私たちってクライン大さんアーキテクツです。
So, welcome to, as I say, the 177th PechaKucha Night live from Tokyo. I'm just checking what's going on here, but this is our Cool Vibes edition. And we're really excited to bring you five interesting presenters and us. So it's going to be a really interesting night. How are you doing there, Brian? I want to introduce Brian, if who's manning all of the decks and the screens and the keynotes.
Guys, I'm sorry here. I'm super sorry. Off to a rocky start there. I thought I was sharing the deck, but it seems I may have been sharing the wrong. I may have been sharing my messy desktop. Nobody's it's never okay. Like seeing my dirty dresser drawers. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody.
So Brian is he's never behind the curtain, but Brian is here in Tokyo and he looks after PechaKucha Global and the community. And he's also director and producer of PechaKucha Night Live as we go around the world. So welcome to everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, so, okay, cool edition slide, and we're off to, let's go ahead and talk about how you guys, we've already talked about who you guys are. Let's go ahead and talk about where PechaKucha has gone.
So yeah, PechaKucha started here in Tokyo as a one-off event, and it spread all around the world. And amazingly, we're in 1,261 cities.
なんか今日初めて聞いてる方もいらっしゃるかもしれないんですが、PechaKuchaはだいぶ前、2003年でここの東京で始まったんですが、でそこから今世界中で1261都市に広がってきましたよ。
That's pretty amazing. And it's been quite a difficult 18 months. Last April, the whole of PechaKucha Night really stopped and we had no events, but we went online and we've held over 500 events. We're slowly coming back to physical events, in-person events. And amazingly, this week, over the next 10 days, there are 9 events around the world, from Australia to Slovakia, America, New Zealand, Switzerland, UK, and Japan. So it's really, really fantastic. There's obviously a big, strong need for people to get together, share their creativity, and sort of discover the hidden heroes in their cities.
もちろん去年で、コロナで始まった時がどんどんみんなオンラインでイベントで、やりだしたんですが、でもさっきのカレンダーで見たところで、またどんどん in real person, in real life とか IRL って、PechaKucha Night って始まったので、こっちも頑張りましょう。
So does now, and Brian just put up the other slide there. We've been doing really, really interesting events. Not only PechaKucha had to go online, but people like the Frank Lloyd Wright Conservancy that look after all of the Frank Lloyd Wright homes in America had to go online, and we've been running events for them called Wright Sites. And although America's getting back to physical events, it's really spurred this new series of PechaKucha Nights around Frank Lloyd Wright's homes and synagogues. And we're discovering things nobody knew about this synagogue, the Beth Shalom synagogue. It was like the hidden, not only we have hidden heroes in cities, but we have hidden Frank Lloyd Wright buildings. And although it's there and built, it's not as famous as the Guggenheim. And hopefully we're making that a really prominent Frank Lloyd Wright building.
でみんなやっぱりオンラインで、いろいろなイベントでやらなければならなかったんですが、結局分かったのがPechaKuchaフォーマット、それにとっても合うので、普段はなんかPechaKuchaナイトってin real personでやると、やっぱりその都市にその場所にしかいない人たちって、PechaKuchaナイトって楽しめるんじゃないですか。でもこんな感じでオンラインで突然ってやっぱり世界中でどんなPechaKuchaナイトでも参加できたのが逆にとっても面白い時間を過ごしました。
And not only Frank Lloyd Wright, we've been working with the World Press Photo, so the world's press photographers get together each year and host a big event to discover the world, or to work out or to vote for the world's best press photo. And we've been lucky enough to work with this amazing group and get an amazing set of presentations of photographs from all around the world. This actual picture is World Press Photo of the Year. And, you know, it was kind of the first embrace after COVID, but with these blankets on them, and they almost look like two angels coming together, which is really amazing. And one of my favorites is the next slide, Brian, which is this doctor who takes a horse into these cancer wards in hospitals and makes a big difference to the last moments or the last few days of the people there. It's a really moving presentation, and it's on the top of the PechaKucha website today. So please take a view of that. It's a really moving world-class presentations.
そんな感じでやっぱりいろいろなとっても面白いイベントを参加できて、そのプレゼンテーションもPechaKuchaホームページでアップにできてるんですが、本当に 世界一なプレゼンテーションっていっぱいあるんですが、ぜひPechaKuchaホームページまででチェックしてください。
Okay, so we have 6 really amazing presenters tonight, and we'd all like to welcome them onto the PechaKucha stage. So if you can all start your webcams and open your mics, it'd be really great to see you all.
Hi, everybody.
今日はプレゼンターの6人でまた面白い話を聞こえるんですが、all give them a big, loud, well applause.
So I want to say hi to Yuki and Ian.
Hi.
Give us a wave. And to Kogi-san.
Hi, konbanwa.
To Tanya.
Hello, Tanya.
Hi, Carmen.
Hello.
And Yuasa-san. Yuasa-san has the special privilege of going to the same college as us at the Royal College of Art in London.
Right.
But,
で、みんなちゃんと数えると、ってなんか6人じゃないんじゃないかなという、もう一人のプレゼンターは最後に、マークです。
I'm the 6th man tonight, so
I want to just chime in and say that Kogi-san is coming to us from Okinawa and Carmen-san is coming to us from Osaka. So we're sort of spread across Japan tonight. Yeah.
And everybody that's in the on Zoom or on YouTube, most people would be on Zoom. There's a little bit of overflow on YouTube because it's a little bit more convenient. You get there from the top page of the site. But please drop in the chat where you're watching from around the world, and we'll give you some shout outs as we go on. So without further ado, let's get going. So if you want to find us, follow us or friend us, these are all of the addresses that you need, all the important things over on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
はい、なんか多分説明しなくてもわかりますよ。
Okay, without further ado, we'll keep it short and tight.
Tanya has a really interesting presentation, and she's a freelance photographer who has been collecting old Japanese magazines and paper materials from flea markets and bookstores. And during COVID, she kind of turned them into amazing collages, really analog collages. And we really look forward to seeing what's came out of them.
How are we doing there, Brian?
Tanya, are you on? Have you started your video? Can you start your video? There we go. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Hey, hi.
You. Yeah, you have a really interesting apartment with great pieces of art behind you too. Yeah, so really looking forward to seeing them. So the next 20 slides are yours. Brian has to put them up.
Okay.
And
Tanya,
there they are. Okay.
Are you ready?
Over to you, Tanya. The slides are yours.
Hey, thank you. So yes, in 2004, I moved from Amsterdam to Tokyo with my then young family. I left for my husband's job opportunity, actually, and I was not keen to come along. I had my own life, my own ambitions. I was halfway my law degree, and my last job was as a local politician. So needless to say, when I arrived in Tokyo, I was quite lost, and not only in translation. So I started to take photography courses, and after many years of taking family portraits and walking down the streets in Tokyo, I found that multiple and double exposures were my favorite setting. It gives me the opportunity to put more images into one frame, to add to the complexity and the duality that I thought I saw around me and sort of represents Japanese culture to me. I still sell those prints, but I drifted away a couple of years ago from this type of photography. I started to work with two foreign journalists, helping them on their socially engaged stories about pressing issues, important issues. I really like to do this work. It gives me the chance to be more connected to Japan. And oftentimes I find the foreign media talking a bit too much about the land of Hello Kitty, Ikigai, and Marie Kondo. So it's nice to shine another light. So then COVID hit Japan last year, and I did not know what to do. I sat down like many of us. I was home and I looked around. I saw my magazines and books laying around. I thought, yeah, I should do something with those. So I knew I wanted to make collages, but I had no idea how. So I started to look at YouTube. I wanted to make them analog, meaning by hand. So I had to dive into the world of scissors, glue, cutting mats, paper, and all that stuff. And after I bought my first equipment, I just started. I was so in awe of my own material that I put it all out there, just very bright and vibrant and bold, no clear message, just sharing all the beautiful materials that I had. And then after a while, and after my first collages, I did see two recurrent themes. The first one is that I like to juxtapose. So I juxtapose the content matter of what I see as notions of Japan, the traditional versus the modern, the formal versus informal. I try to juxtapose old and new materials, shapes and forms, and anything that is sort of visually pleasing in that sense. And then my second theme is very evident, which is the theme of women. I look at how women are portrayed in those old books and materials. It's all Japanese women because the materials are Japanese, and because they're old, it's all very traditional, good shufus, homemakers, it's all recipes for whatever, hair tutorials. But there's also the other image of the more daring woman, the woman who doesn't stick to social norms, the sexy, sensual, and oftentimes the nude magazines I came across. I really enjoyed the books from the 50s and 60s. I bought quite a few of those nude magazines. These are from the 50s. I precisely cut all these ladies out of their books. And then I intertwine and weave the legs like a spider web in order to give this more complexity and more chaos to have a like a hint towards women life of women in general, I guess. Here I use a book of Shinoyama Kishin. I know he's still alive. I hope he doesn't mind. I completely destroyed his book to make something out of it, my own narrative. I used washi paper underneath to give it a special effect. And these two are quite personal. It's a statement towards women empowerment. I find this the hardest difference with my own culture. I know Japanese women are very powerful, but their voice is not so powerful. And it's hard to understand that, and the position is not equal to men, so it's a difficult one. Another one which I find intriguing is the obsession for high school girls. Some men here have a fetish for them. I find it all a bit disturbing. When I saw the books laying in the bookstores, I was thinking, it shouldn't be the case. These are young girls. They should not be exposed. They should be more sort of protected. So I bought the books and I cut all these girls out the books. I had a great time destroying the books and then cutting them out and using them, for my own stories. I gave them a way to escape high school. Some were more powerful, some were more comical men, juxtaposing them with their mothers and grandmothers in the way they dress. And these two are a sort of escapism. One is called Hiding for PE, the other one is called Down the Rabbit Hole. And I'd like to take them out of their setting, escape school, escape that part of your life, sort of. It's a work in progress. I have a lot more material to continue this. And then my leftover trash is another source of inspiration. When I finish a collage, my desk is full of clippings and snippets of paper that I shove around, turn around, and reuse. It's all a matter of sort of recycling material. Nothing goes to waste. Sometimes the waste creates better images than my first collages. Here I use washi paper, origami paper. It's a constant evolving way to make art. Recently, I started to use some fabric, kimono fabric. It's super hard to glue. It's one big mess, sticky. And then again, at the end of the day, when it dries up, it's quite nice. And these two, I believe you need to feel to see the effect of it. And then my last work is more abstract. I try to draw the viewers into the story a bit. I leave more negative space so viewers can make up their own stories. So yeah, this is my work. I sell prints, not originals yet. I've had an exhibition. I have 2 more coming up probably. So try it out yourself. It's a fun way to create, and yeah, it's sort of meditative, I believe. So thank you for watching.
Wow. Wow.
I like the escapism, and yeah, I maybe because I'm not Japanese myself, I can very much identify with your thoughts. But it also made me think of you know, when you look at the picture, and of course you can make up your own stories, and all these stories, they must you know, the opposite stories to what the pictures were actually showing, but stories that were inspired by the picture. So I think there's a whole another amazing dimension to it. So
no, it's really fantastic. Tell us a little bit how big they are. I was trying to imagine, are they like similar to the size behind you?
Actually, yes. They depend. I make them mostly on A2 paper, but I also make them smaller. And of course, when I print, I can print on any size really.
Right.
They're pretty big because I have so much paper.
Anyway, I'm almost glad you came to Japan, and that you had so much time to be creative. It's really
no, it's really amazing. And I think that's, again, all these times, you know, this is 177th time. It's always inspiring to see people like you sort of reinterpreting Japan and the different images you see, because you come here fresh and see it in a different way. We're a little bit jaded after being here for 30 years, but it was really fresh, and the really fantastic graphics. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, one more time for Tanya.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We have our little sound machine here, Tanya. Sorry, we have a.
Oh wow! Thank you.
Tanya, I have a few questions for you, but I'm going to save them for at the end of the night. And if anybody else has any questions that they have for our presenters, you're welcome to add them in the chat or hit the Q&A button. And if we have time at the end of the night, we will try to get to some of them. And yeah, thanks for that. Okay, so moving on.
Okay, so Yuasa-san is up next. Interesting connections all the way through tonight. Yuasa-san was at the Royal College of Art a little bit after us, maybe quite a bit after us. And he's really interesting graphic work that sits between wood cuts or prints or digital, but I don't want to take his thunder away from him. So we'd like to welcome you to the stage. If you can turn on your camera, which you probably have done, I can't see that. And we'll give the 20 slides over to you, Yuasa-san.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, we maybe a little bit louder voice, I think. It seems a little bit distant, or get a bit closer to the mic. So over to you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, Yuasa-san, here we go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So what does this look like? This is live streaming from the YouTube. Yes and no. This is the woodcut print. Actually, I carved and then printed on the paper by hand. And the size of the work is 90 by 60 centimeters each. So when I upload this image of the work on the Instagram, many people try to push start button, but of course it's not working. This is the print. Maybe you cannot believe or not, but actually I carved all details by traditional knives by hand, using the 3 weeks for. This is the details of the work. So now you see the work is by the lines, but even though you cannot believe, it's possible to buy the laser cut nowadays, but I carved by hand all details, even so this is the picture. So now you can believe it. I do by hand. So using the traditional carving knife, the shape is never changed since like ukiyo-e time, like Edo period. So everything by hand. So this is the baren, which is the hand printing tool. So this is the really very important tool for the Japanese woodcut print. So this is made by bamboo sheath. So this is quite expensive. Maybe no one believe it. And this is the picture of the Hokusai, most I think famous picture of the Japanese woodcut print, Great Wave. So my work and the Hokusai's print is almost same technique we use. This is the typical image of the woodcut print by the kids. So Japanese kids, most of them, we did the woodcut print in junior high school or elementary school. So this is the process of the hand printing in my studio. So my studio is really small, but I try to make really big work. So you see this is the hand printing process. So this is the really large work. So 160 by 120 centimeters wide. So this is the big, but even though I do everything process is by hand. So this is the kind of combination of the tradition, analog and digital. So this is my biggest work, 3 meters by 10 meters wide. So maybe it's also, you can believe this is the woodcut print, but I made it for the exhibition in the museum. So this is the image from the horse racing. Many jockeys fall down for by the accident. But you see, it's like really digital, but it's also everything by hand using the sumi ink. Sumi ink is the Japanese black ink. This is a really traditional tool for sumi painting and Japanese woodcut. So I made 25 grays, like from the white to the black. Then I made it that work. So this is also another work of mine, 1 meter by 2 meters wide. This is a really colorful work, but this is made by CMYK the color. But it's also by the woodcut print. I really inspired from the Indian landscape. When I went to India for the workshop and exhibition, I got so much inspiration from the colors of their clothes. So I made that work with really the colorful. So this is this is the island. I went there for I think 2 years ago. This is the secret forest. Maybe you can find the fairy there. And then when I back to Tokyo, I decided to do the work with that image. So looks like different. You can see the blue stripes and the black forest, but I made it really inspired from there. So this is the Tokyo. So during the coronavirus pandemic, I also stayed in my studio for a while. So I really love to go to travel, but I couldn't go anywhere. So I decided to use the image of the Tokyo. So I made this work. It's quite small, like 30 by 40 centimeters wide. This is the woodblock print as well, using the color. image of the Tokyo Tower. So this is my hope, like a candle. So this is my studio in the. I started to use a sharing studio in the Chiba. So it was quite big studio. So I started to make the really large work, 2 meters by 3 meters wide. So thank you so much. So check my Instagram and the website. My next exhibition is in September. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Amazing, Yuasa-san. Again, it's like I have the impression only Japanese people can do work like that. It's so meticulous and so magic in a way. And I just can't believe the whole time you invest in doing this. I mean, how long did it take to make this big jockey piece that was 10 meters long, I think, and 3 meters?
I spent like I think 2 months for that.
Just 2 months,
Oh,
yeah.
You know, unbelievable.
But there's something fascinating about
yes.
digital and physical and the way these things come together, because digital somehow is so easy and there's all this pain and heartache and time that's gone into these freeze frame, you know.
Yet you know, especially the work with the jockeys, you kind of made it pixelated, you know, just to confound people even more.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and again, just the notion of a wood block print. Again, that's very traditional in Japan, and mixing it with this digital notion too. Yeah, really fascinating. Have you been doing this for a long time? Was this something that you were doing at the Royal College, or how did this evolve? How did you get to this sort of art form?
Yes, since I was at the Royal College, I made similar work. Since then, I've been working mainly woodcuts for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you know, we have a wood shop now. Do you have a stock of wood panels you can use?
Yeah.
The lino next.
You know, they're very expensive now. You better hold on to them.
Astrid, I could see one of Yuasa-san's pieces in your office as maybe it's time to update the office artwork.
Yeah, we'll maybe show you some of it a little bit later. But so tell me how it works. So you take several prints, or you know, can you sell the prints like that? You know, obviously it's a woodblock print, so that means you can make more than one copy very easily.
Yeah, I do make the edition.
Okay.
But not a big number. I normally make like 5 or maybe 10 is maximum.
Okay. Wow. So interesting.
Many papers and behind me. I also love the collecting the papers. Like
interesting.
Many wash papers, Japanese papers.
I guess studios are never big enough, aren't they?
No, never.
Well, thank you so much. That was a really interesting presentation, and we hope to see you face to face soon and present again here in Tokyo. So thank you for that. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Okay, so next up is Ian and Yuki. So they're friends. We go back a long way to Super Deluxe days, and Ian is a graphic designer. And he's the PechaKucha logo on my t-shirt, which you can buy at the PechaKucha store on the website. He actually tuned up our logo. There's a long story about the PechaKucha logo and how it evolved. But Ian was like, dude, that's kerning on that's not very good. And he's tuned it up, and that's become our global
Yuki,
brand.
On the other hand, sticks in my mind for having an amazing color sense and for doing really seductive handiwork. So I really look forward to hear what they've been up to.
Yeah, we were so interested about your new venture, which is only a few months old. So without further ado, and spoiling your thunder, the 20 slides are yours.
Okay, thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, we're ready. Hello, we are open for business.
こんばんは、亀口ゆきです。
And I'm Ian Lina. We opened a new shop called Silo Siding in Sasazuka, a neighborhood in Shibuya, just 2 months ago.
今日は2ヶ月とちょっと前にオープンしたセレクトショップサイロサイビンをご紹介します。新宿から一駅の笹塚駅から歩いて3分、ごめんなさい、下北沢からはたったの15分。最高にいいロケーションにあります。
It's a great location. We're 3 minutes from Sasazuka Station, and Sasazuka is just 1 stop away from Shinjuku, one of Tokyo's biggest train stations. Bonus, it's a 15-minute walk from Shimokitazawa as well. What we carry there is a variety of original, domestic, and imported apparel, new and used books, zori, aka kimono sandals, accessories, zakka, and just some weird stuff.
オリジナルと国内外からセレクトしたアパレル、新しい本に古本、草履、アクセサリーなど、ちょっと変わったものが集まっています。これは最近リリースしたばかりのオリジナルの T シャツです。イエンがデザインしました。日本では珍しい XXL サイズまで作っています。
This is some of our original apparel that I designed that was just released recently. Unlike most apparel shops in Tokyo, we actually think about all sizes of people and we carry up to XXL. We also designed our first line of sweaters that debuted when we opened the shop. Here are 2 of the designs.
店のオープンと同時にデビューしたセーターもあります。そのうちの2点がこちらで、タイガーがすごく人気でしたね。で、右側の紫のセーターはまだ販売中です。こちらも最近リリースしたスワン柄のナイスな長袖 T シャツ。これはスワンボートと一緒にモデルをした日の写真です。
So this is us modeling another one of our new pieces of apparel, the long sleeve swan t-shirt. If you're visiting Tokyo, we highly recommend taking a paddle in a swan boat and then perhaps buying one of our t-shirts. This is a series of mini sculptures that Yuki's been making called Village World. They are non-representational except for the one shaped like a gyoza.
私たちがビレッジワールドと呼んでいるミニスカルプチャーの集合体です。これらのほとんどが具体的な意味はないのですが、私の頭の中にあるものを再現した物体たちです。うずりはコラボレーターのゴバース・ジュンさんと私が共同でデザイン、制作をしているゾーリブランドです。
This is Uzuri, a couture zori brand that Yuki and her collaborator June Govers have been manufacturing for the past few years. Zori are sandals for kimono, and Uzuri no zori are the most cutting-edge ones out there. Uzuri zori are made by artisanal craftspeople in Tokyo using a variety of eclectic materials selected by Yuki and June in a wide range of exciting colors and styles.
個性的でありつつ、かつ洗練されたイメージを目指して色の組み合わせを決めています。うずりは熟練の東京の草履職人さんの下で作られています。これはカリフォルニア州オークランドに住むデザイナーマイク・スカリンジが描く絵には、プレゼン的な空気感があって、私たちはそれが気に入っています。
We also manufacture and carry a line of apparel designed by Oakland, California designer Mike Scaringe. They have a distinct prison vibe, which we really love a lot. But we also carry a range of apparel designed by Tokyo artist Tetsunori Tawaraya. They have a distinct, like, oh shit, he did a lot of drugs vibe, which we also really love.
東京在住の人気アンダーグラウンドアーティスト、鉄則俵屋のアパレルとアートブックは、個性強めなものが好みの方に大おすすめです。このアバンギャルドなアクセサリーはオランダのジュエリーブランド KTH の作品です。メタルワークと異素材の組み合わせが特徴的で、とにかくファンキーです。
This is a line of avant-garde jewelry that we carry, designed by KTH, a Dutch jewelry brand. The designer, her name's Kalkidan. She mixes original metalwork with a variety of materials and approaches, resulting in many very different forms.
右側はネックレスなんですけれども、スペースインベーダーか枕かレイブのフライヤーかちょっとよくわかりませんが、とにかくすごく素敵なネックレスです。こちらも販売中です。ニューヨークのブルックリンからは、私たちの友人マシュー・スコット・バーンズが手掛けるブランド、アスバイアスのアパレルとアクセサリーです。
And now our least favorite brand that we carry. Just kidding. This is a line of apparel and accessories by the Brooklyn, New York brand Us by Us, run by our boy, Matthew Scott Barnes of the wildly popular design studio Funeral. But when we first decided to open the shop, Yuki really wanted to make sure that we carried the incredibly imaginative Dutch apparel line Born, created by Norbert Fiedlers.
店を始めようと決めたときに絶対セレクトしたいと望んだのが私が長年リスペクトしているオランダ人アーティストノーバート・フィデラーズのアパレルブランドボーンでした。
Born's apparel is full of surprises, from small details to expansive approaches to atypical formats.
この他の商品もインスタグラムで紹介していますが、ボーンが作るものは繊細さと大胆さが混じり合っていて、作品全部にいつも驚きがあります。
We have other stuff too. We stock a mix of antiquarian, used, and new, and design in our books at Silos Lighting that I personally curate.
イエンがセレクトしたアート、デザイン、文化などについての本も新しいものからアンティークなものまで幅広く揃っています。
Also feminist books. Silos Lighting, it's located right next to a really small stream, and it has a name. It's called Dondongawa.
サイロサイビンはどんどん川と呼ばれる小さな用水路の隣にありますが、最後に、どんどん川に住んでいる私たちの大好きなコンブザダックとマリーザタートルを紹介します。
Some of our favorite people live in Dondongawa, such as Kombu the duck and Mari the turtle. But that's it, folks. We're closing up for today. We hope you come by sometime. Sasazuka is a great little neighborhood.
はい。では、今日の営業はこれでおしまいです。笹塚は美味しいお店や楽しいお店が集まっていて、とても魅力的な街なので、皆さんもぜひ遊びに来てください。
お願いいたします。
そして、いつか私たちの過去、新しい形の小売療法、過去閉じを体験しにぜひご来店ください。お待ちしております。ご視聴いただきありがとうございました。
Thank you so much for your time and appreciation. We invite you to come by Silos Lighting and experience what we call, quote, a new form of retail therapy.
Thank you. Now, for people who don't know Ian and Yuki, this is normally where at Super Deluxe they would throw gifts into the audience, which is not going to happen tonight.
Yeah, but that's the thing, dude. Like one time, like one of the skateboards that I threw into the audience, like hit a dude in the head, and he went to the hospital.
Yeah,
you know, but that happens.
You know, kind of didn't want to have to skateboard and just dropped it. But anyway, I like the new form of retail therapy.
Yay, thank you.
Yes, because it's so surprising, it's so colorful, and you never know what you're going to get. You just got to go and visit, I guess.
So I have a question. What does psilocybin mean? I just did a Google search for it, and do you know what came up? Your store.
Okay, so a question for Mark Dytham in return. Have you ever done psychedelic?
Okay. I wanted to know how Yuki translated that. You've done too many drugs in Japanese at that point in the presentation.
So the name comes from the word psilocybin, which is the chemical in magic mushrooms, which is one.
All right, well, it's a good job I asked that question.
However, the spelling is not going to translate into Japanese. So we just respelled it. Or actually,
yeah.
Brian should have asked that question really, or answered it.
He knew.
He had his
what? Don't bring me into this.
I thought you had your hand up there, Brian.
But Mark, you haven't answered the question.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know.
No idea.
No comment.
Changing
funny.
subject here. Mark is looking forward to come and visit because, as you said so nicely, you carry big sizes.
You said various sizes.
Yeah, and big ones.
Okay, good, excellent.
Oh, that was kind of cold. It got cold in here.
I'll come now. I'm working on it.
But it's really great, and I think Tokyo to be the most advanced people in retail in Tokyo is saying something, and I think we can genuinely say that
we will take that compliment.
what you're up to, and expect us round at the weekend. So
yeah, and also the fact that it's sort of all unique pieces actually makes for repeaters. And it also is an incentive for buying it there and then, because it might not be there next time. You know, if you buy it now, next time there's going to be something new and different and just as interesting.
Goodness me, we're going to have to say paid promotion at the end of
We'll
this
take it.
video.
Thank you, guys.
Great, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Well done, and thanks for taking that big chance to open the store and for presenting tonight. So brilliant, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to say hi to everybody over on YouTube. Most people are here over on Zoom, but you can get to this live broadcast via the top page of PechaKucha.com, and there's a Zoom link there. So there are a few people over there. So I just want to say hi to everybody over there. It's not just you, there's a big Zoom audience on the other side as well. So welcome to PechaKucha Night. And our next presenter is, drum roll. Where's my drums? I don't know where my drums are. It's Kogi-san. So there's a little bit of an introduction to Kogi-san. First of all, to his fantastic dad, who runs the EU Japan Fest here. It's a big collaboration between artists in Japan and artists in Europe. And it's linked with the cultural capitals of Europe. And Kogi-san, his dad, does a really fantastic job of curating Japanese artists going to Europe to present their work, and vice versa, bringing European artists to Japan. And it's a really amazing institution, and PechaKucha is very privileged to work with them to help introduce the artists as they come backwards and forwards. But Kogi-san Jr. Is also doing really fantastic work. And he's working with a castle that was badly damaged in Okinawa. And again, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Kogi-san, and let's hear all about it.
Where the sun seems to be still shining.
It's rainy season here in Tokyo. We've had non-stop rain
but even at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's pouring with rain. Anyway, Kogi-san, over to you.
Okay.
The slides are yours.
Okay. はい、皆さんこんばんは、小木次郎と申します。今はですね、内閣府の、首里城復元整備推進室で副室をやっております。今日はこの首里城の復元についてお話ができればと思いますので、よろしくお願いいたします。今日はこのような機会をいただきまして、どうもありがとうございます。首里城の、火災の後の復元にあたってはですね、国内外問わず多くの方々からご声援、また寄付金などもいただいております。本当にありがとうございます。この場で深く御礼を申し上げます。特に世界の内南中と呼ばれる海外からの方々からも多くの寄付金などをいただいております。どうもありがとうございます。復元の話をする前にですね、少し歴史の話ができればと思います。こちら、実は戦前に捉えた首里城の正殿の写真なんですけれども、琉球王国が約450年間続きまして、その中心が首里城、そしてその首里城の中の中心的な建物がこの写真にあります正殿でした。でこの写真、なんだか分かりますでしょうか。実はこれ、首里城のですね、正殿の基礎の部分になっておりまして、これがまさに世界遺産なんですが、この矢印にあります通り、大体7回ほど建て替えられていると。例えば火災などで失われてまた蘇るっていうのを琉球王国の時代に繰り返していたのが首里城です。でその琉球王国の時から続いた首里城が失われたのが、悲しい歴史でもありますけれども、沖縄戦でございました。沖縄戦の時にですね、この首里城の地下に旧陸軍の32軍号といいまして、陣地が置かれていたために、米軍の激しい攻撃にさらされてしまいまして、失われました。そんな首里城を取り戻そうとして、戦後、沖縄の方々が立ち上がりまして、まず初めに始まったのが、守礼門、メインゲートになりますけれども、守礼門の復元です。1958年にこのような形で復元が行われました。また、その後ですね、首里城の中心部、正殿を中心とした中心部は国営公園として復元されることが決まりまして、平成になりますと、1989年から正殿を中心とした建物の復元事業がこのような形で始まりまして、またこういった沖縄全体でのイベントも展開されて大いに盛り上がりました。1992年、4年後にはですね、こういった形で首里城の正殿とその周り、ごく一部の建物が復元しましたが、 まだですね、この時には周り、まだ緑の部分もありますけれども、まだまだ復元がこれから始まるということで、空き地も多く城の中にはありました。そこからですね、約30年間かけて復元事業がずっと続いてまいりまして、2019年の2月にこのような形で、沖縄のシンボルでありますこの赤い城全体が蘇りまして、またそれを囲む城郭、壁ですね、城壁も、復元がされました。しかし、そこから、約8ヶ月後の、2019年10月31日、皆さんご存知の通り、このような火災に襲われてしまいまして、首里城の正殿を含む9つの、建物が焼失してしまいました。火災は約11時間続きましたけれども、その後、消防、警察による調査も行われましたが、火災の原因の特定には至っておりません。これは鎮火直後の現場の様子になっております。正殿はすでに失われておりまして、かろうじて正殿の前にあった竜柱2つが黒焦げになりながら立っているのがわかるかと思います。そんな首里城の復元についてはですね、沖縄県と連携しながら3つの取り組みを進めております。1つ目が技術的な検討を踏まえた正殿等の復元。2つ目が現場の段階的な公開。そして3つ目が復元を通した地域観光への貢献です。これはですね、2020年3月に政府が決定しました正殿等の工程表です。いろいろ書いてあるんですけれども、昨年度と今年度2年にわたりまして正殿の設計を行いまして、来年から5年かけて正殿の本体の復元を目指しております。復元をするにあたって進めております技術検討、さまざまなテーマがありますけれども、まず1つ目がやはり防火対策です。また木材や赤瓦、あとは彩色彫刻など多岐にわたる技術検討を行っております。その内容はまだ検討中、議論が進んでおりますので、またの機会にシェアできればと思います。また火災の後はですね、このような形で現場の公開を進めております。火災から8ヶ月後、こういった形でまさに正殿が立っていた場所を公開しまして、火災の遺物なども展示しながら多くの方に訪れていただいております。今も現場は見ることができます。またですね、ボランティアのイベントというのも定期的に行っております。これ何をしているかといいますと、赤瓦の漆喰を剥がしているんですけれども、火災で割れずに残った赤瓦をこういった形できれいにしまして、今後の復元のために使っていきたいと考えておりまして、これまで3000人ほどの方に約2万枚の瓦をきれいにしていただきました。最後にですね、現場の写真をいくつかお見せしたいと思います。これが火災の翌月ですね。まだ、火災の傷が生々しい状況ですけれども、まだ2019年12月はこのような形で焼け残ったいろいろなものが現場に残っておりました。そしてですね、こちらが2021年、今月ですね、です。もうすべて瓦礫ですとか焼け残った建物は撤去されまして、代わりにこういった外からの城壁を乗り越える形での工事用のですね、仮設道路などが入っております。こういった形で今まさに復元が進もうとしている状況が今の現場になっております。これはですね、来年からの復元のこれ CG イメージになっておりますけれども、こういった形でだいたい高さ25メーターぐらいの素屋根ですかとかですね、木材倉庫などを整備いたします。また合わせてそれを間近で見学できるような見学用のデッキ、通路も整備しますので、ぜひご覧ください。こういった形で復元を進めておりますが、復元の先の復興を目指しながら我々引き続き復元を進めていきたいと思っています。皆様の思いに応えながらですね、また未来の沖縄のためにより良い形で首里城を受け継ぐべく復元を進めておりますので、皆さん応援をよろしくお願いします。今日はありがとうございました。
And just a little summary for our non-Japanese audience. In 2019, there was a very, very tragic, enormous fire of the Shuri Castle, which is very beloved, not only by the Okinawans, but it was on the news for quite some time in the whole of Japan, also because the fire lasted like 11 hours and was pretty damaging that way. And sure enough, now it's under reconstruction. And what is really nice is that it also involves volunteers. Like you've probably seen on the last slide, you can help cleaning the roof tiles, and I'm sure there's lots of other work that people can participate. But what's also nice is that one can just look around the construction site. And I think those are probably lessons learned from Sagrada Familia, where, where it can be, places like that are not only interesting once they're complete, but to see the work that goes into it, the way it's built, and how long it takes to redo it, and all the craftsmanship and artistry that goes into it. So thank you very much, Kogi-san, for showing us, I wouldn't quite say behind the scenes, because it's actually all visible, but it's an amazing work of reconstruction.
No, and I think it's a really, really important work. So one of the things in Japan is that fire is one of the big dangers. There may be an earthquake. The great earthquake in Tokyo in 1923 was around lunchtime, and they didn't have gas here. They had those charcoal charcoal barbecue bricks, which boiled the tempura oil. And when the big earthquake came, that all tipped over and caused these fires, and the city burnt down. And it was the fire that destroyed everything. And that continues again with other earthquakes in Kobe too. Fire is the strongest thing. And a lot of the traditional buildings here were rebuilt in concrete in Asakusa. All of the traditional buildings you're going to look at there were burnt down during the Second World War, and they're all made of concrete. So it's fantastic that you're rebuilding this in the traditional way. So congratulations, and we're going to pop down and see it soon. Yeah, I think it's a new form of tourism, which is really interesting. You can learn so much.
Architects like to look at construction sites, no problem.
Yeah, that's right. But at least it's faster than watching bridge construction. So, okay.
Thank you very much
thank
again,
you so much.
Kogi-san, and best of luck and good continuation.
Thank you very much.
And there's actually a lovely connection here too to our next presenter, who is Carmen. Brian met her at an EU Japan Fest that Kogi-san's dad runs, and that's how Carmen is presenting here tonight. So that was a great segue.
Yes, and Carmen is a Romanian anthropologist and coordinator of Japanese language and culture program at the University of Hyogo. And as such, she kind of proudly became the first non-Japanese and only female member of the shrine-carrying Otori Mikoshi group from Tenjin Matsuri. And
wow.
I'm sure that's what she's going to talk about. So we all ears.
Carmen, over to you. I've got to click that just to check I can see you, and I think we can. So have you got your camera on, Carmen?
Yes, thank you very much for the
introduction. Over to you. The 20 slides are yours.
Thank you. So I was introduced as the only female member and non-Japanese member of the group. Actually, I'm more of an honorary member because you have to be male to be a member of the group. And since this is the period when we would start preparing for the festival, but this year, Tenjin Matsuri, one of the 3 great festivals of Japan, just like Gion Matsuri, has been cancelled. So as you see in that photo, this is what we would have been doing this month on the 24th of July in Osaka. Unfortunately, it's been cancelled, so all we can do is talk about it and pray that the god Tenjin, the god who protects people from disease and also offers academic support, will protect us this year and we will overcome the disease. When it comes to Tenjin Matsuri, what you have here is what most people know about it: fireworks and a river parade that takes place at night. However, there is much more to to this festival than just fireworks and the river parade. It is a story about gods and humans. And in Japanese culture, in Japanese mythology, we have two types of gods. The personified ones, those that get human attributes as they are represented here. This is a very modern painting of goddess Ame no Uzume, painting from 2019, actually, so she looks very familiar. Or humans that turn into gods after death. And this is not a picture from Japan, this is from my native country, Romania, where a king who had built a lot of churches was turned into a god in the 21st century. Well, a saint, but the things is very similar. And the god protector that we're talking now is Sugawara no Michizane, a real aristocrat from the 10th century Japan who was exiled unjustly to Kyushu, where he died. And after he died, a lot of strange things started happening, like a fire at the imperial palace where all his political enemies died. And as such, he was associated with the god of thunder and then later turned into the god Tenjin. But originally, he was this very scary creature looking like this. This is a scroll from the Kitano Tenmangu shrine in Kyoto. So people decided to create a festival to celebrate the god Tenjin. Nowadays, the festival has become more of an embodiment of masculinity. You have the big drum that is carried around the city for 2 days, and it's a kind of an acrobatic feat to keep beating the drum regardless of its position. If you drop one drumstick, well, you're shamed for life. And this is the group where I do research. As you can see, only men, they're all prepared to join the festival. It's kind of like the meeting before they start carrying the mikoshi. The mikoshi weighs 2 tons, by the way. So the fact that it's men, only men carrying it, kind of makes sense when I saw it and when I saw what happened to my husband's shoulder after he tried it for only one time. I thought, well, this is definitely not for women. So it is a show of masculinity and a dedication to the god Tenjin. Apparently, he's not only in charge of academics at the moment, but he really, really likes seeing a show of force, a display of masculinity. These are the 2 mikoshi, the 2 main mikoshi at the festival: Otori, the phoenix mikoshi, and Tama, the jewel mikoshi. They work together, although Tama mikoshi is newer. It's a representative of Osaka Central Market. And this is the last part where they offer the final bow in front of the shrine. I've been doing research here for 4 years, and I think it is representative and significant that a woman is doing research on masculinity in Japan. And it also shows that mentalities are changing because I've been accepted in the group. But to move on, what does the god like? So he likes fireworks and he likes masculinity, but he also likes plums. So why plums? Well, Sugawara no Michizane apparently really enjoyed the plum flowers. The plum flowers during the Heian period were the equivalent of the cherry blossoms today because they were the appreciated flower. The cherry blossoms entered the Japanese culture much later. And he wrote a poem comparing considering the beauty of the plum flowers and how much he would even like to touch them to his face. And this is what remained in culture, this association between the god Tenjin, Sugawara no Michizane, and the plum blossom. That is why the crest of all the shrines dedicated to Sugawara no Michizane are plums. As you can see in this image, you can see a stylized plum blossom on the curtain at the shrine and also on the curtains that cover the mikoshi. The plums are dedicated to the god in a special ceremony that takes place in June. So the first fruit of the season are presented formally to Sugawara no Michizane. And by the way, I do not have a photo because I could not attend the event. There is even a contest of spitting out plum pits. And this is a store near the shrine because there is a very close connection between the plums and Sugawara no Michizane, where they sell various products related to plums, and they also give them as offerings at the shrine, and at the same time the shrine buys from them to give as presents. And this is a very special plum collected, harvested in the year of a monkey, but a very special year of the monkey that happens once every 60 years. And it's supposed to have special curative properties and to heal, to bring good luck. And the plum you see there costs 3,000 yen, one piece. So, Sugara no Michizane, the scholar that wrote poetry about the plums, that is celebrated in a show, in a display of masculinity, and at the same time, the essence, the divine essence of Sugara no Michizane can be found in the plums. This is my last slide. With your permission, I'm doing a little bit of PR here, and these are my two recent books. As you can see, the Mikoshi are on the cover, and I talk not only about Tenjin Matsuri, but about a lot of other Japanese festivals. So if you're interested, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow, thank you, Carmen.
Brilliant.
Yes, I'm sure Tanya would have a lot to say here.
Questions, yeah. Very interesting, very, very interesting.
Thank you very much.
But, you know, we always can, as women, we can kind of marvel at all these beautiful naked men, okay, for a change. Because
well, they're not quite naked. But anyway.
I keep asking them to wear fundoshi, but they keep refusing.
Okay.
Right. Chickens. Anyway, yeah. So I'm glad how you introduce also the very important rituals and customs around the plums, just to balance it out nicely. That makes up for the lack of women, I guess.
Yeah, plums has another meaning with most of us guys, but anyway, we won't go there. So
no,
it's peach in Romanian.
That's not part of the anthropology research. Sorry. But yes, anyway, kind of well done, Carmen. And
thank you very much.
I'm sure it sounds like you had a lot of fun, and judging from the humor with which you presented it. So,
but these festivals are very much about making community in the town or the village. Some of the places we visit in the summer, these Mikoshi festivals are so important, to bring everybody together and to meet young people in the city, and that's how you meet young men or women. That's how you meet
No,
your
the
girlfriends.
women make the plums. You didn't get that.
Okay. Anyway,
please visit us next year.
You will do. All right. Thank you for a great presentation.
Thank you very much.
Mark and Astrid, I think you had mentioned that I had met Carmen at an EU Japan Fest. Actually, that's incorrect. I met Kogi-san at an EU Japan Fest event.
Sorry.
And Carmen was introduced to us by our PechaKucha Night organizer in Kobe, Simone. And we had a nice, wonderful Pan Japan event a few weeks ago, which was really nice. And so I think we should make it. How's the night going, by the way? It's going really good, right? Yeah, we've had artists, we've had government officials, we've had entrepreneurs, we've had, and now we've had an academic. And I think everybody, this has been a great recipe for a nice, wonderful, eclectic evening. And I think I'm going to make a mental note to pull from academia, from art, and especially, I particularly love this, that Carmen came with such a collegiate and anthropological researcher point of view. So thank you for that.
And now you're going to dive in and pluck out the architect, are you?
Yeah, exactly. Architect, please. The architecture is up next. There's the architecture slot, which you guys are filling. So maybe I should. Well, our next presenter, as seen on TV, is our very own PK founders, Mark and Astrid. Mark, you want to introduce yourself, or I can do it? Here we go. Let's see. I'll do it. PK founders and Klein-Dytham architecture principles. Mark and Astrid and Hisa, who's sitting behind me. Hisa's back here. Are going to present about their latest project in Osaka. They've just done an amazing project in Shinsaibashi, which is a high-end district of Osaka's shopping district, and I won't steal your thunder. So,
thanks, Brian.
Mark, are you ready?
I'm good to go. Let's see.
Astrid, are you ready?
Yeah, I'll leave it up to Mark. So
well,
yeah,
until I'm lost for words. You know.
Okay, all right. Well, Mark,
she's here, ready.
I have the pleasure of saying the 20 slides are yours.
Thank you, Brian. Well, welcome to Kind Oath Architecture's latest project in Osaka. And it is for Cartier, and they're opening a store here. It's in Shinsaibashi, which is a really upmarket area of Osaka. And we're really privileged to get this job. And we wanted to look at a way to bring a new face to Cartier. Something which reflected their traditions of geometric jewelry back in the 1920s, but also bring them up to date with a more environmentally conscious facade. This facade is made of wood. It's made of Japanese hinoki, which is used in all sorts of things. It's used for the Japanese sake cups, which are called masu, and this is really the shape of these two. They're like a compressed box, which you drink the sake from. And it also sits on an aluminium frame, which is made from recycled aluminium. And this all comes together to make this very amazing geometric facade, which is wooden and is warm and inviting. And it's completely different to the other shops like Apple, Burberry, and Nike on the other corners, which are all about glass, steel, and hard materials. This project is meant to be warm and inviting and draws you into the shop. So the hinoki is from Gifu Prefecture, and it's almost like a religious wood. It's used in temples, things like that. But it's also used in baths, which means it's a very stable wood and can survive outside, although this has had 3 coats of lacquer. And craftsmanship has really been the key focus of the design. As you can see here, we've had to work around all of the fire services. And I think this facade could only be really made in Japan. Just the teamwork, first of all, from the amazing client. Without an amazing client, you can't do an amazing job, but also the contractor and the craftsman. We want to tell you a little bit of a story of how this has been made. But first of all, we conceived it in the office here, and we're working with wood and different things. And then we met this group of carpenters in Kyoto, a traditional firm that have really helped craft this. So it is a mix of technology and craftsmanship. And here we've made all of these masu boxes, these wooden tubes in a way. The sake cup has a bottom to it, but this allows the water to pour through. There are 2,500 of these which have been handmade. There are 12 different types which make up the Lego piece as it goes. And here you can see them being made and checked and lovingly crafted and lovingly coated with lacquer. And it was a real privilege to work with these craftsmen. And it's brilliant that we can find them new types of work to do. And, you know, we went down to see these. They look really brilliant. So we have Hisayama-san on the right, the craftsman in the middle, and then our client on the left. And so there was a lot of backwards and forwards down to Kyoto to check all of this. And it's this process also, which is really interesting. It's just not the finished product. Here you can see the aluminium frame, which is made from recycled aluminium. They were 3D printed to start with, and then that made the casting into which the hot aluminium is poured. And that is the base onto which the wooden units are screwed. And here you can see them in the factory. It was all, so we had all these panels. Each one of those is a separate panel, probably had 12 or 15 units on a panel. And each one of those panels is hung on the building. But the craftsmanship and the, you know, just the technique here in Japan was really, really amazing. It was a delight always to go down there. Because it's in Osaka and Shinsaibashi, it's very important for it to light up at night. So each of the 2,500 units has an LED light. It's controlled on a DMX controller, so we can change all of the brightness of them. And here they're lovingly added one by one into each of the boxes. And this is the frame behind And so the electricians there wire up each one, and everything is tested before it's hung onto the building, and everything is completely waterproof. So this whole screen is what we call a rain screen. It allows the water to come down behind. So we had lots of mock-ups and lots of testing and lots of leaving it out in the rain and the sun to check that it will stand the test of time. And here are the units. We're looking at the corners here and the different panels. It's absolutely fascinating how everybody worked as a team to pull this off. And then how's it going to look at night? And here we are with the piece. It's being lifted up to the height it would be on the facade. We were quite surprised how large it was and how high it was. And all this is done in, we had to struggle through all of the COVID restrictions here, but it was really amazing. And again, here's the finished product on site. And you can see how we have to turn a 45-degree corner. So there's all the geometry which allows that to happen, and all the lights behind. So it's a really, really lovely project. And again, without the dedication of the contractor, the craftsmen, and our team of Klein-Dytham All-Stars, it wouldn't have been possible. So here it is at night. And again, it has this very nice warm glow. And I think that the idea of using wood on facades is something that's very, very, well, it's quite old in Japan, but it's a very new way to look at facades. It's much softer and warmer and much more inviting.
More welcoming. And we would love to do more facades that use wood in this way. However, I mentioned this before, we are suffering wood shortage all around the world right now. And so
timber shock,
wood shock. So that makes this one even more precious. But yes.
So our last slide, we're going to get a taxi home because I think we're the last ones tonight. But anyway, thank you for watching. And we're happy to answer some questions a little bit later. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can do my own.
Wow, remarkable project. I remember when I said, hey, why don't you present at this month? So maybe a month ago, I said, we're looking for another presenter. Well, let's hear about the Cartier project. And you said, I knew you were a little apprehensive about it. I'm not sure. I'm just sure because you're so, it's your baby and everything. But I feel a little tiny bit guilty for, proposing it. On one hand, I'm very grateful and excited and just thrilled to see such like an amazing project. But it's like a magician never reveals their secrets. And we just got to see, behind the curtain of how this amazing, I kind of feel like, I've seen how the magic trick was done now. But no, thank you. So, I think this is the coolest thing. From what I understand of PechaKucha's past is that, this is actually the forum that came out of, sharing architectural projects in the office and architectural projects that never got to see the light of day. And so I think it's really cool that
Brian, back in the day, for the first 10 or 15 PechaKuchas, we always presented the last one because it was a way to promote our own work,
Sure.
back in the day. And then because it was monthly, we quickly ran out of projects. So,
right.
So it's been interesting. I think we did the hotel last time. So it was great to show you how it was put together.
Yeah, thank you. That was really cool.
At this point, I want to do a little shout out and a big thank you. I can see there are lots of friends in the audience. I just saw Yamamoto-san. I know that Thomas in Aalen was watching, and Asby, I kind of glanced. And many more. There's Lori, and yes, lots of people. So thank you all for watching.
Robbie was always in the audience for almost 177 times. So hi Robbie, and Kogi-san is in the house. I'm just going through the list of people here. It's been really amazing. And Tanya too. And we said Thomas. Who else there, Astrid?
Eddie's over on YouTube.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I think a few other people
joining in.
It would be so nice seeing you in real life and having a little chat, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer. And in the meantime, yeah.
Well, we're going to do a little Q&A. I mean, we can do a little Q&A amongst the presenters. If anybody's got a quick question they want to ask into the chat, feel free, and Tomoko will help curate those. But
yeah, what I would say is let's close our presenters down and definitely open this up for a little Q&A. I know there's some Q&A floating around. I saw a few. If you have any questions for us, go ahead and type it in the chat here, or you can use the raise your hand function as well. We'll get it. But there was a question for Yuki and Ian earlier in the evening. It was, why are Yuki and Ian so awesome? I said it's because they're Yuki and Ian, but maybe you guys have a better answer.
Yeah,
sorry to put you on the spot.
Hold on. We have a world famous professor that is here to answer that question.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, according to the law of thermonuclear dynamics, certain pairings of atoms and people are quite rare. And this pairing is extraordinarily rare.
Nice. Good answer. Good answer.
And also, I've only just gone full screen on you guys. So that was, wow, you're back in. That's interesting. So
I got
True Company, Three's a Cloud. Proud. I love your T-shirt, Yuki.
Yay!
Yours is pretty good too, Ian. But,
those who don't know, Yuki さんの T シャツはスーパーデラックスのT シャツなので残念ですけどスーパーデラックスもうないんですがスーパー西麻布の六本木のスーパーデラックスねPechaKucha Night ってそこで生まれてという感じでありがとうございます。
スーパーデラックスはねすごいもう大好き、すごいいいとこでしたね。
Well, there'll be a new super deluxe. You'll see, kind of ultra deluxe. We're working on it.
It's work in progress.
I have a couple of quick questions for Yuasa-san. Yuasa-san, there was a question. There was a very colorful image that you showed that what you said you were inspired by India by it. But I couldn't help but notice that it looked like a computer, like a glitched photo. Did I see that correct? Is that what I was meant to see? Yes. Is it an abstract piece of art, or was it referencing a glitched photo? You know what I mean by glitched photo?
Yes.
Yeah.
I inspired from that kind of the image, and then I manipulated the image by the Photoshop first. Then I made the woodcut print following that kind of image.
Right. And I had another one. I noticed on one of the larger wood block pieces that I thought I noticed the trace of a grid. And it made me wonder if you carve this like in various grids or in various sections, or if you carve one depth, like what's the step-by-step process of the actual carving? Or is it different each time?
Yes, it depends on the size. I start with the like edge of the line, then carve little by little. Like every day I do carve like 20 lines or something. Then I do like spend like 20, I don't know, maybe several weeks for finishing the all lines. So actually it depends on the type of the work. But if I carve the lines, I quite carve quite quick.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Did I see that correctly? Was there a grid on one of them where it looked like they were being worked on in sections, or did I missee that?
It's by section. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, there was another question here from Jenny asking about the wood shortage. Well, there's something called timber shock or wood shock right now, not the Lehman shock. And all around the world, there's actually a shortage of timber, certainly in Japan and Europe. Mainly because of the big housing boom in the US. And when there's a wood surplus, they export it to Japan. And when there isn't, they don't. We're really struggling here, very serious wood shortage. It's very difficult. So when you go to a home center, you can only buy like 3 sheets of plywood or 5 2x4s per person. And we're having a lot of problems in the construction industry. A lot of homes were built by 2x4s and they're not being imported into Japan. But it's also, I'm hearing that it's the same in France and the same in the UK too, yeah.
And it's very expensive, so much so that we do have a project right now, and the prices have gone up. So building a house has with wood construction has slightly become unaffordable.
Yeah, and so then you go to concrete and steel, and now the steel prices are going up. So we have a lot to thank COVID for, huh? So, but anyway, there is talk that it will come back to normal. But yeah, all of the supply chains are broken. That's one of the main reasons. Yeah. Anyway,
not just the chips.
Very
good. Mark, I have a question about wood. I think my wife is allergic to hinoki.
Yeah, that could be. I'm certainly allergic to some. I remember when I was a kid, we went on a trip, and it was it's the resin which comes out of pine trees, and it makes me come up in wheels.
Same for her, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually gone away, but it tends to come. I used to get it when I ate shellfish as well, but it's the same type of thing, yeah. So you can be allergic to timber.
Yeah, and then there's a very frequently asked question: does the facade still smell of hinoki? Only if we spray it with a hinoki aroma.
With a combination of hinoki spray, then it smells really good. Yeah, no, we had to lacquer it. So
with some UV resistant.
One's a UV lacquer, one is a thing to obviously help repel the water. Yeah. So especially in rainy season.
Even more.
So anyway,
I want to keep going here. Will you indulge me? I have a question. I have a question for Tanya. Here we go. And there's another question from Mark Asher. We'll circle back to that. Tanya, the reason that Tanya and I met was because I spotted her multiple exposures. At the beginning of her presentation, she showed a series of multiple exposures, which I really, really love. And I also do multiple exposures. And the way that I do them is that I sort of juxtapose one motif on top of another motif. I like to see what happens when I pick one theme and go shoot it for a couple of weeks, and then go and keep all my roles organized in some way, and then go shoot another role. And it sounded like the collage seemed like a very obvious continuation of that, but you didn't mention that. And I just wondered, like, what's the connection? Is the connection just as obvious as I'm thinking of it that it is, or was there something to how you got from the multiple exposure to the collage?
Yeah, it's funny you point that out. Actually, when I was preparing for this presentation, I saw for the first time, I guess, that there's so much similarity. So when I started multiple exposure, double exposure was, a way to put a lot of notions in there and ideas and feelings. So collage is just a continuation of that same idea. I guess I have just too much to share, and I can't fit it in one frame or on one piece of paper. So yeah, you're right. It's something I really did. This presentation helped me to see my own development, sort of.
What's your multiple exposure technique?
It depends. I have with the Ricoh GR, I take multiple shots, but then again, I also do them in post-production. I do both. So it's either Photoshop or it's Inkscape.
It's a digital process too, right?
Yeah, only digital.
So the thing that I wondered about is like I'm using film to do it, and often like there's a lot of variables that I can't control because I can't rewind the film, and etc. So, but there's always surprises, and I love that. Anybody you don't have to multiple expose film to take it to the shop, and the anticipation of film, right? And you had said, that sometimes the trash and the discards of your collage work result in surprises that are sometimes even better than your original ideas. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. I also got that feedback actually during my exhibition. The most popular collage at that time was actually the one from my trash. I was even debating whether I should show it, but so you see, you never know. So it's really surprising.
Yeah.
Got to pick the film up off the cutting room floor. That's
that's the nice thing about doing work like you do, Tanya. It's kind of you're surprising yourself. You don't know what's going to get out of it, and then chance overlays and say, that looks cool, and then and something more comes.
Yeah, it's very forgiving. I really enjoy the fact that there's no mistakes, which is very rare.
No, exactly, yeah.
And a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
There's a great question here. Sorry, thank you for those amazing answers, Tanya. There's a great question here from Mark and Astrid. Why from I believe it's from Ian and Yuki. No, who is this question from? Why use wood for a brand that tends to use metals and gems?
To make the metal and gems stand out even more beautifully by contrast.
Absolutely true. Yeah, we were really conscious right at the beginning of the project. We suggested wood, and that was the question that we were asked back.
Okay,
yeah?
I will cheat. We're cheating a bit, aren't we? So there was this absolutely amazing exhibition by Cartier here in Tokyo. And the exhibition design was done by Sugimoto Hiroshi, who is
photographer, artist.
Yes, and so he's been using antique wood, really big, long planks of wood
from temples and
places, and really rough-hewn rocks and so this very sophisticated and amazingly crafted jewelry. I'm not a jewelry person per se, but I was just in awe of the artistry. And just by kind of juxtaposing it with these very natural, very rough materials, made them look even more amazing. And I think that's where it came from, although we couldn't quite have just simple wooden planks on the facade. It wouldn't have gone down.
Some siding. So it's very precious wood that is responsibly farmed, the hinoki wood, and it has a lot of meaning to it as well. So it's but that contrast is really important. What's quite interesting is I can't say Cartier like Astrid does, but it's kind of interesting that the prices on the jewelry is done in like a slightly what do I want to say? It's not a perfect font to make the jewelry look perfect, because it is perfect. So some of the jewelry we were looking at in the exhibition had over 10,000 hours of workmanship into these amazing jointed bracelets and things. It was absolutely incredible, and it's amazing this craft still goes on. So very good.
I've got one for Kogi-san. Kogi, you had from the 311 earthquake, so many amazing, interesting volunteer projects came out of that disaster, and many of whom presented at PechaKucha Nights, not only in Japan, but across the world. And it's been like a great honor to be able for PK to be an archive of some of this new methods of restoring, getting life back to normal. And I'm wondering if the work that you're doing there, are you discovering new techniques and archiving them those methods of reconstruction in a way that will be available to the next time we face one of these situations? Is there going to be an archive or I assume there'll be like a report, but maybe I'm saying I would encourage you to, like, if there's other craftsmen or other people who would want to present about this kind of like Shirley Castle itself or other projects like Shirley Castle, are there, maybe a PK presentation is a great way to learn how to just about cleaning the tiles, or just about temporary, I don't know. What can you speak to that?
アーカイブはそうですね、復元のアーカイブは今、いろんな形でちょっと試そうとはしていますね。例えば、現場の様子とかもそうですし、あとはその30年前からいろいろ復元してきた過程っていうのをしっかりとアーカイブ化して世界に発信したい。特にその海外だと沖縄にルーツを持つ世界のうちなんちゅうの方とかも沖縄のルーツの方がいろんなところにもいらっしゃいますので、いろんな形でちょっと今試そうとしています。
なるほど。
なんか、いろいろなクラフトマンでやってるじゃないですか。でどんどんやっぱりそういう芸術家がなんかなくなるじゃないですか。だから亡くなる前にちゃんとアーカイブ残して、なんかやっぱり次の世代とか、もしもね、またなんか大変な事故であったらどうやってなんかそれをまたリビルドできるのかって分かるようにっていう、そういうアーカイブもなんかあるんですかね。
それを今まさに作ろうとしてますね。その今の復元もですし、30年前から行われてきた復元の中でいろんな技術とかが施されて、それを映像とか写真ではたくさん貯めてるんですけど、なかなかオープンにできてないので、それをうまくプラットフォームを作って、いろんな人に発信をしていきたいなと思っています。
シュリーキャスルの特別なPechaKuchaナイトやりましょうね。シュリーキャスルからいろんなクラフトマンとか、もう6人のみんな自分の専門の
なんかその職人さんたちがそれぞれでなんかPechaKuchaフォーマットでプレゼンテーションしたらなんか面白いんじゃないですかと思ったんですね。
僕たち建物の復元を目指してるんですけど、やっぱりその建物の復元だけでは終わらなくて、それだけだと日本のことわざだと仏を作って魂入れずじゃないですけど、ソウルが入らないんですね、建物に。だからそこにいろんな人の思いを入れたいし、その復元を通して技術とか人を育てて未来につなげるっていう、そういったプロジェクトにしていきたいなと思ってます。
ぜひぜひ。
そういうPechaKuchaナイトもぜひ。
はい、やりましょう。
やりたいですね。
はい。
Let's squeeze one last question in if you'll let me. Thank you for that, Kogi-san. There is a question that Carmen, thank you for answering that question in the Q&A. But I think that's a really interesting question that all of our attendees would love to know. What was how did you manage to convince the male dominated festival to allow you to research them? And what was that never a problem? Was it what was that proposition? Oh, I think you're muted. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just realized. So as I answered there, it's due to the leader of the Otori Mikoshi group because he's very open-minded and he wants to support research. So that was the beginning. But actually, I had to publish my first book for him to make sure that I was serious about it.
Oh.
And then there was something like of an initiation ceremony. I attended a party with all the members, and I think they told the worst dirty jokes they could say and see how I react. After that, they didn't do it anymore. So it was, okay, what is he going to do? And now I'm just a piece of furniture. So I follow them. I'm there. They're very nice to me, but I'm not allowed to touch them.
Piece of furniture. I like that.
That's funny.
That's really cool.
And they were actually another thing. We had a blood bond. I had an accident while doing research there. I slipped and fell and entered elbows first into a glass door. And that was in front of everybody. So it was the most embarrassing moment of my life. But they actually went with me to the hospital. So 2 of them went to the hospital. The others were waiting to know what was happening. And that sealed the deal. I was a member of the group.
For life.
Right.
For life.
Blood bond.
Blood bond. There you go. Well,
So
great.
that's the way to do it, eh?
I would not recommend it. It was painful.
Hey, Brian, we better do a quick photo of everybody.
Yeah, let's hold on. Before everybody stand in line, let's get through this last bit of housekeeping before we do that. Mark, I'm going to pass it back over to you for 1 second.
Sure.
And
okay.
We'll come back to the photo there. So
Mark, yeah, we wanted to let you all know that since COVID, we'd actually been developing PechaKucha Create for some time. So it's a way that before, with all of our thousands of events around the world, you had to do them live, make presentations live, but now you can make your presentations online with PechaKucha Create. You simply upload your 20 slides, you can voice them and share them with the rest of the community. And we're running shorter formats too, like 10 by 10, which is proving really popular in schools. And that's what's really amazing. Schools, universities, offices are all using, and large organizations are all using the format now to keep these presentations short, unlike me talking for too long. It's also being used for competitions. This is the World Architecture Festival. We ran a big architectural competition. All submissions were done through the PechaKucha Create format. Here, Norman Foster was one of the judges, and also Peter Exley, the president of the American Institute of Architects, who's also the PechaKucha organizer in Chicago. So, it's pretty amazing how global this has become. And we've had these really amazing events. We just dropped this one in because it's the Olympics later this month. And this is Tokoro-san, who designed the Olympic logo. And he was chatting to us in Tokyo during one of our global events where all the organizers around the world come to Tokyo. And he gave an impassioned plea about his work and his fantastic stuff he's doing for the Olympics. And we're very lucky that hopefully, fingers crossed, it will go ahead in 3 weeks' time. So without further ado, all presenters report to the stage like we normally say for the group photo. So here we are. We're all going to do a little, I've got to, well, it doesn't matter because Brian's going to take it. So.
Okay.
Okay, everybody look at your camera. You know the drill here. Big smile. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. One more. Here we go. 3, 2. Oh, it's just like in real life. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Yo.
Nice.
Very
okay.
Good. Brian. We're nearly there.
We're at the end here.
Shout out to Eddie in Orlando, who's been texting me through the evening. So hi to Eddie. It's breakfast time with you. Really great that you're tuning in. He runs a fantastic series of PechaKucha Nights in Orlando. It's one of our biggest supporters. He comes out to Tokyo as well to see us for our event. So hi, Eddie.
Okay, that's it. I think it's time for goodbye. It's been an hour. We're over time. So guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's our evening. Thank you guys so much. We're so excited.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Ian and Yuki.
Next event is coming up soon.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Great job. Okay.
All right, here we go. Bye, guys. See you next time. All right.
Bye.
Oh.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Can we cue this up? Nice.
Woo! Are we still online live, Brian? Are we?
Oh yeah, I gotta turn it off. Don't worry, we'll be all right.
Devastating Tokyo in February 2003. As an event for young designers to network and show their work in public, it has become a global celebration, featuring a special presentation format, 20 images each for 20 seconds, moving on while you speak along. We're not time for more than fun gatherings, rendezvous for creatives or the city. Everyone can present whatever their age, no matter children, teenager or adult, presenting something that you like. Ideas got talks about anything. 1,000+ cities around the world. Together, let's say 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha,
PechaKucha, événement mais surtout format de présentation orale en 20 images qui se succèdent automatiquement.
This is our, sorry, I'm sitting here telling you about this music. Hold on, I want to hear this part.
Waar mensen de tijd nemen om weer eens echt naar
This is our organizer in
Hey, PechaKucha is located tonight.
our organizer in Benin, Cotonou, Benin, in West Africa. Sampled all of our presenters, all of our organizers' voices, and made this killer anthem for our International PechaKucha Day last February 20th. We'll have another International PK Day next February 20th, so maybe you'll be hearing this song some more.
PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha, 20 by 20. PechaKucha, PechaKucha,
PechaKucha es un evento y formato de presentación oral con 20
Say again?
Okay. We are PK Pals, we are PK Pals.
PK Pals.
All over the world, we are network.
That's what he's saying, we are PK Pals.
We are PK Pals, we are PK Pals. With wonderful stories at the PK nights.
めちゃくちゃストーリーテリングのフォーマット。20秒のスライドを1枚あたり20秒使ってプレゼンテーションを行います。
PechaKucha ist für uns allen eine fantastische, eine großartige Bereicherung unseres ganzen kulturellen Lebens.
Okay, so long, everybody.
Okay, thank you,
Next
Brian.
time.
Using it and directing it so well. Thanks to all your presenters. And if you want to present at the next PechaKucha Night in Tokyo, we're about a month away. We'll see you then. Love
See
you,
ya.
Tokyo.